Welcome to Austin Stories, where one of our many slogans is, we ain't caring about Karen. So today's entitled Karen story, she yells and screams, insults OP in the pet-friendly hotel once people moved out of her room, records OP, and then the fallout is kinda maliciously awesome. And also, all my videos are in podcast form, so check out the Austin Stories podcast on your local provider, or check out the description of this video below for a link. Let's begin. Mega Karen, the entitled witch who screamed at me about her rights, insulted me, and then started recording me when I told her to get out, posted by Other Cantaloupe. This one's a doozy. Buckle up. It's gonna be a long story, but it's worth the read. We'll call the woman Karen and her husband Kent. Let me give you just a mental image of these people, okay? Kent looks like the average middle-aged guy. He's got like a t-shirt and jeans and old tennis shoes. Karen is the pinnacle of all that has ever been categorized as a Karen. Her foundation was way too dark and orange for her skin tone. Her hair was thin and bleached blonde, and she had some kind of crackhead pigtails thing going on. She obviously had done Botox and gotten a lot of fillers in her cheeks. She's also middle-aged. Kind of like Dolly Parton's face, except a bit narrower and with Donald Trump's complexion, like i.e. caked in orange foundation, and hair color. Okay, I'd already dealt with one entitled woman who yelled at me during that shift, so I wasn't really having the greatest day. But I was just taking it in stride. Until Karen and her husband, Kent, came in. Kent was the one who came to the desk. He was a walk-in, and it was Memorial Day weekend with 3 rooms left to sell. 1 double room on the first floor and 2 suites on the upper floor. Kent talked over me and opted for the double, which was $10 cheaper than a suite, but it was also a pet room on the ground floor, our pet-friendly floor, while 2 and 3 were pet-free. I tried to tell him all the standard stuff, but he was like, yeah, I just want the room. And he wouldn't listen, so whatever, here's your key. He goes to his room with Karen, and everything is great. For about 20 minutes, Kent comes back out and says he can hear someone's dog occasionally barking. Okay, I get it. Listening to a barking dog is annoying as heck. People aren't supposed to leave their pets in the room alone anyway. I apologized and said that I'd call the guest to see what I could do. I offered to move him to another room on the upper floors, and he said, no, we're not moving. We shouldn't have to. People with dogs should have to move. Everyone has dogs down that hallway, Kent. Can't you just move them all to the other end of the hall or something? For a second, I thought he was joking. No, he was not. Holy entitled Batman. No, I can't and I won't. I told him I'd do what I could to get a hold of the guest who owned the dog. He went back to his room and came out 5 minutes later to ask if I'd done anything. Mind you, the dog had stopped barking at this point. I said I couldn't get a hold of the guest, and I again offered him to another room. He said, no, I told you we're not moving. They have to move. Ugh, well, whatever, man. He goes back to his room, and 15 minutes later, he comes back out with Karen. Karen says, okay, this is ridiculous. We didn't pay to hear someone's dog moving around and making noise. You need to tell people that there are dogs in here. It is a pet-friendly hotel, Karen. Well, you need to tell people that. It's on the big sign outside, it's on our website, there's signs about dogs on the walls around the hotel, and it was written on the paper that you signed and initialed when you checked in. Well, they shouldn't be prioritized over people. She stared at me like she was waiting for me to say something, but I don't freaking know what she expected me to say. I just shrugged and said, it's a pet-friendly hotel. Okay, but we're people and we pay to stay here. So did the guests with pets? They paid for a room and they paid the pet fee to stay here. We have rights and we are your priority, not people with dogs. People are prioritized over animals. Yeah, well, pet owners have rights too. Aren't you a snobby freaking witch, getting all smart mouth with me like you're not supposed to be prioritizing us over animals? You can stop with the smart mouth witchy attitude right now. And you can leave now. Oh my goodness. The look that flashed across her face as she spluttered in surprise for a second was priceless. No, we aren't leaving. Get out now. No, give us the other room. No, get out now. But you just offered us another room. I did. And then you got nasty and started screaming and insulting me. So now I'm telling you to leave. Go. No, you're going to give us the other room. If you don't leave, I will call the police and have you escorted off the property. And then, this is the part that makes me so freaking ticked that I swear my soul momentarily left my body to make room for the sheer rage that coursed through me. This witch whipped out her phone to record me, which is illegal in my state. Give us the room. Get out. Are you recording me? Yes, that's what you get when you're a snobby little witch. She was so happy with herself, like she's some kind of freaking genius dealing out some groundbreaking vigilante justice to her cruel oppressors. I can call my manager or call the cops. Pick one or get out. At that point, Karen went freaking berserk and just started screaming and screeching until her orange face turned red, screaming about how they should be prioritized and I'm such a freaking witch, smart mouth, snotty, snobby butthole, and they were getting that room, blah, 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 blah. Tons of insults and crap. My brain was kind of like, yeah, screw this crap. So I was standing behind the desk calmly and sarcastically saying, yep, sure, yep, as she was screaming at me. I reiterated her choices. She demanded my name and my manager. What a surprising turn of events. I cheerfully said, I'll write that down for you. But that didn't stop her from demanding that I tell her my name 1,000,000 times. My guess is she wanted me to say it on video. Kent told me to go call your manager. I went back to the office, I shut the door, called my manager, and just burst into tears as soon as she picked up. All the stress and emotion that I'd held in to keep it together just came out behind closed doors. I said I needed her to come in. I could barely explain why, just that there are these two jerks at the desk screaming at me and recording. Okay, it's okay, my manager said. Let me get dressed and I'll be right in. I tried to stop crying and pull it together before opening the door. I stopped for a second and I heard Karen telling another family that came in what a total witch I was. I opened the door and said, okay, she's on her way. Have a seat. When will she be here? Soon. Again, have a seat. We are not going any. I said, have a seat. She stopped talking and jerked her head back and said, you really do have a snobby, witchy attitude problem, don't you? They went back to their room. The family that witnessed the tail end of it just looked at me like I was a piece of crap whenever they saw me for the rest of their stay. My manager came in and I was just in hysterics, crying and couldn't breathe to tell her what happened. I managed to grind out the beginning of it before Karen comes to the desk. Your employee refused us a room. Really, the manager said, because from what I heard, you refused a room that she offered to you. But then we wanted it and she said no. That's what happens when you yell at my front desk agents. She was yelling at us. I have a video. Yes, she said that you were recording her, which I'm not okay with. I don't care if you have a video. Why don't you come around the desk to talk to us? No, talk to me across my desk. You're being very rude. Just come around the desk to talk to us. This desk is between us for my protection. I don't know what you'll do. Karen huffed and shoved her phone in the manager's face to show her the video. I was back in the office, but from what I heard, the face that she made when she realized she hadn't actually been recording the entire time and only got about 30 seconds where she's yelling and I'm saying, yep, it must have been freaking priceless. My manager eventually gave them another room, which I was ticked as heck about. Why reward them for their bad behavior? This is why they act this way in the first place. Nobody tells them no. Karen was a total jerk. Why does she get to stay? At least my manager told them that they were not to bother me, not to speak to me, not to harass me like that. You can have the room, but you don't bother my front desk agent again. They kept their side of it, apparently. My manager hung around until they were in the new room and my Ativan was kicking in. I didn't hear another word from them, didn't see them again for the rest of the night. But they needed some kind of slap on the wrist out of the ordeal at the very least. I was ticked that they were staying. So before I went home, I set up a few wake-up calls for their room. 2 a.m., 3 a.m., and 4 a.m. I'm told she didn't say a thing about it. Frickin' Karen, man. Oh boy. Well, here's the thing about that. You are going in there and thinking you run the place. You're using your bad example to try to get leverage to this employee who is sticking to their guns and doing their job. Not to mention, you think you're recording and it quits, and then you only get 30 seconds incriminating yourself. I think this Karen has done this at one too many places, got away with it just as OP said, and then it's like, oh, I'm going to try it again here. It's become the routine. It's become her natural self and reaction as we witness this Karen in the wild, right? And now that somebody's finally got the guts to stand up to her, got the cojones or whatever you want to call it, now things are a little different. You get that 2 and 3 and 4 a.m. wake up, you're not going to say anything after screwing with OP like that, who actually has the guts to tell you how it is, trying to move people out of a pet-friendly hotel when they have the pets and you don't. And you know what? I'm done with this Karen. I am done with her. Are you? Because I am. HOA Karen threatened my house to my face, so I ruined her. Be sure to click the video on the screen. You do not want to miss this insane fallout. If you love the story, you'll love that one too, and I will see you there.